get it. It's okay. I promise. It's all right. Thank you. Non-dairy, if you can. But if you not, I'll take.
Oh, wow.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
What's the matter with you now? Your coffee?
No, I don't usually drink coffee. I just, I'm going to get some now. How you doing this morning?
I'm all right.
It's nice to be on your show again.
When we come in here causing trouble, you're worse than I am. I'm the worst.
Well, you're a tough boss, I heard.
Yeah.
Heard you're a tough boss.
Russell Simmons is here, one of the more successful young businessmen and entrepreneurs in the country. A number of best-selling books. He founded Def Jam Recordings. And Your Really Fat Clothes. No, that's not what it's called.
Oh, I sold that one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I sold that a long time ago.
So, before we talk about your book, Success Through Stillness, I have an argument with some of my friends about who think that rap music, hip-hop music has an influence, an out-of-proportion influence on people who listen to it. And I say, no more so than when I grew up, and I was in high school, Little Richard was singing, "Good God, Miss Molly, she sure liked the ball," and nobody knew what that meant, you know. They all thought they meant dance, you know. And then, or country music made people want to get drunk and cheat on their wives. I mean, it's just, you know what I'm saying? So,
you know, it's just an expression. I mean, always the poets, the musicians, they say stuff that people don't want to hear. They remind them of what they're thinking, stuff that they're thinking and they might do, and then there's an expression, an honest expression, which is what an artist is supposed to do, and that's the reality. All the music of the times, the poets, of where they're time capsules. That's what people are thinking. Sorry, you know.
That's sort of related to it. My friend Kinky Friedman, you know who he is?
I know the name.
Genius. He's a genius, really. He wrote "They Ain't Making Jews Like Jesus Anymore," and he wrote one of the great songs about the Holocaust, Ride Jew Boy. He's written a number of books and so on. He said, he ran for governor of Texas.
Okay.
He said, there's nothing more serious than a comedian. There's nothing more serious than a comedian when he's telling the truth.
Of course.
Well, it's the same with music. So.
Yeah. I work with many, many, many comedians as well, and I got in a lot of trouble over my comedians as much as I did over my music artists.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, Def Poetry Jam. They were out front. Right. Remember, they had we got a Tony, but there was a moment where I was in a lot of trouble, and I got in trouble. Public Enemy. I remember they had people shooting at my office with snipers, and we were.
That's not funny. I don't think it's.
Well, it's funny now because now they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Sure.
So you know, it's you know, cutting edge culture always is it's an expression of the times, and lots of times those expressions are ones that we try to suppress, although they are our reality. So, anyway.
Like when I used to ask people what their 5 favorite songs were because I think it provides a window into what people are thinking. Like the wonderful historian Doris Kearns Goodwin, who was won the Pulitzer Prize and all of that. And I asked her what her 5 favorite songs were, thinking that would be like Bach and Mantovani or whomever, you know, Chopin. It was Fats Domino and Elvis. So, same with musical Mount Rushmores. I mean, I just think it's interesting who people pick and so on. And now, let's talk about your book, Success Through Stillness. A thing occurred to me about meditation. Well, tell me what it's about.
Well, I've been meditating for about 20 years, and I'm a big fan of it. I meditate with my kids every morning before I take them to school. We've gotten hundreds of thousands of kids to meditate through the David Lynch Foundation. And people, it's really growing. I gave Oprah her teacher. I gave Ellen DeGeneres her teacher. I always find like people with big mouths, I try to send them meditation teachers, and then they send it out into the world. They teach their staff. They teach, and they spread it. And I think it's important if the world meditated, it'd be a better place. If the collective did more meditation. And so writing a book that demystifies it, makes it simple, seemed like the right thing to do. You know, I give the money to charity, but I'm going to go to Chicago, for instance, and try to get the chancellor and others engaged, and then get the principals to get the kids to meditate. You know, where in Chicago there's so much violence, and we have so much research that says that we decrease violence and we increase happiness through meditation. Simple. We have lots of research, proof. It should be part of a curriculum. They should sit and have quiet time, like we have in so many schools around the country. And we need it in Chicago. We need it everywhere, but in Chicago in particular.
So tell me the mechanics of meditating. How do you teach? I mean, you can't get you get a teacher for Oprah or Ellen or somebody, but how do you teach a kid?
Well, that's the highbrow stuff. You don't have a teacher. I mean, my book is really simple. You just sit and be patient. Repeat a mantra. There's one way. I mean, there's many ways to meditate, but one good way is sit. You have a mantra, and you let the
mantra can be just one
mantra.
word.
Yeah, but for me, I gave away a vibration, a mass mantra on my book. It's rum. Rum. Say it to yourself. Put the alarm on for 20 minutes. Your mind's going to go crazy like a monkey. It's going to bounce all over your head. And then it's going to realize it's in a cage, and it's going to settle. When the nervous system settles from your sitting, the mind follows. It's very simple. The book is mostly simple research because then it's psychosomatic. You find out that your brain becomes more expansive, your memory gets better, your nervous system gets stronger. To find out that the left side of the brain and the right side of the brain get connected again after, since you're 8, it starts building a wall. To find out all the things it does for you makes it simple and a reminder of how to do it and why it's so important. It's a wake-up call. You read it, it's real simple, so do it.
Yeah. When's the best time to do it? In the morning, you get up?
Well, I do it when I get up.
Yeah.
And I do it again later. So I do it twice, 20 minutes each time. That's the TM way. I'm inspired by the TM teachers. That's the teachers I send out is Bob Roth, a big friend of mine, who was a part of the David Lynch Foundation. We honored your buddy Rick Rubin the other day because he's been meditating 35 years. And you find a lot of creative people meditate because, the world is so much noise on the outside. And if you look inside, you find the answers to that noise, and that noise becomes less obtrusive and the suffering that you get is from all the noise in your head. If you have no noise, it's bliss.
I try to meditate every morning.
I know you do. You're a big meditator, right?
Yeah. But sometimes I wonder if I'm doing it right, and sometimes it takes a long time to get your head clear. And sometimes I can, and sometimes I can't.
Every day you can. If you sit and the noise is going in your head, but you're sitting and the nervous system's settling a little bit, and you get to watch your thoughts. They don't all go away, but you watch them from a distance. The problem is we have thoughts that actually affect us in such a way that they cause us to put poisons into our body. But if we meditate, we can watch those thoughts without so much emotion. Even if it's a little bit of a distance, then you just take an inventory for 20 minutes. But then you're taking an inventory for some of that 20 minutes that's really, really insightful because your nervous system and your mind's not so adverse to the real answers. You're not so nervous. The idea is to calm the anxieties. So it almost always, you have to admit that most times you sit within 3 or 4 minutes, you say, oh my God, I'm meditating. Then the noise will come and it'll settle even more. So in 20 minutes, God knows you almost always get a really restful, special kind of experience.
But to get people, we're talking about Russell Simmons, whose book Success Through Stillness ought to almost be mandatory reading for people. But you can't, as I was just going to say, you can't get people to carve out 20 minutes without looking at their cell phone. And I mean anybody.
Yeah, well, there was a great meditation teacher who the Beatles and, the Maharishi,
sure.
The Yogi, the Maharishi. Lots of them, lots of people learned to meditate TM through him.
Yes.
And the Maharishi would say, if you don't have 20 minutes, you need 2 hours. That 20 minutes makes me more productive.
But there were no distractions then in those days.
I run...
I mean, not like now.
Yeah, but I run 20 companies. I have a financial service company. I have a fashion company. I'm shipping clothes to Macy's this week. I have...
Well, you're a unique individual.
Records. I have, TV, film. I have a whole digital experience that I'm working on. I have lots and 5 charities. But I get up and I meditate. I got 20 minutes.
Yeah, but if everybody's like you,
no, but I mean, the reason I can do so much, my capacity to do more is because I meditate. That 20 minutes allows me to be greater at time I am at work.
Do you ever not meditate?
No, meditate every day.
Well, sometimes I do, and the whole day is a mess. And I come in here in a bad mood and yakking.
After meditating?
No, when I don't.
Oh, yeah, it can be. Yeah, it can be a bad day. You get addicted to it pretty quickly. You realize that a quiet mind, everything happens. much easier. You know, a lot of times the noise on the outside, you view it as being so heavy. And a lot of times it's just like noise. And that's what we want it to be. We want it to be able to guide. We want moving meditation. We want to move through the day and watch the world and participate in it, but not be so attached to it. And that's what we're trying to get rid of.
Not be looking at your cell phone. I mean, it's beyond the epidemic. Russell Simmons, Success Through Stillness. Success Through Stillness. Go to Amazon.com and you can just type in his name, Russell Simmons, or Success Through Stillness, and buy the book. Let's do this.